what she said.
Pretty woman.
Joining us today is Jackie Porter, a financial literacy advocate, a planner, a writer, a speaker, and once again, a guest at What She Said. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Now, we have talked about your book, Single by Choice or Chance, The Smart Women's Guide to Living Longer, Better. Mm-hmm. And you say that one of the reasons that women are challenged by having to plan their financial future is because of the way they were raised.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a really big issue is a lot of times I think women aren't necessarily raised to think about themselves. I'm sure none of you women in here can relate to that. We're often raised to think about others. We raise children. Sometimes if we're, a big brother, big sister, we're taking care of younger children in the family. We're always also encouraged to take care of our man, right? Mm-hmm. And often, these things are becoming a little bit more generational, but the messages are still out there that, especially once a woman gets to childbearing age, that should be her focus. And, whatever compromises or sacrifices that might entail might mean putting off her dreams potentially for someone else's.
Well, one of the issues, of course, is that for certain generations, money and the management of money was considered a man's domain. My mother never wrote a check. My mother didn't know what a GIC was. She didn't know anything about life insurance.
Well, you couldn't get a credit card without your husband's permission until what? I think it was the early 80s, maybe late. Yeah, I think it was that long.
Thankfully, that's changing. That's a good thing. But, we're in, to use Trudeau's phrase, we're in 2017. Back then it was 2016.
Yeah, right.
But, I still hear, and it always fills me with terror, of course, silently, because I can't necessarily reveal these feelings when I'm talking to a couple and a woman says to me, you know what? I don't know anything about what's going on with the finances. My husband takes care of all that. You know what? I'll leave it to him. He knows what's going on, and I'm okay with that. And I think, the reason... Exactly. So alarm bells are pretty much going on in my head at that point, because I think I'm actually an optimist about relationships. Mm-hmm. One of the things I might have told you, Christine, is my journey to being in a relationship is writing a book about being single. So I'm totally someone who believes wholly in the values and the virtues of being in a couple.
But Jackie, let's take the other side of this. Okay.
Yeah. But having said that, women should know that anybody could pass away unexpectedly.
Yes.
Anybody could decide, you know what, I'm out. This was a ride and I'm ready to get off the train now. So, people leave, people die. These are just things that happen. Sometimes it's no one's fault. Sometimes relationships don't work out. One of the things I learned doing this book was there's such a thing called the silver-haired separation. Mm-hmm. Anybody here familiar with the silver?
We are hearing about it.
Yeah, so the silver-haired separation, for everyone who might not have heard of it, is just, the kids are gone, time's passed. 20, 30 years might have passed. I'm a different person. I might have different needs, different beliefs, and I just want to move on. And if I don't know anything about my finances, I don't know how money works, I don't know how to create and protect my own cash flow, I haven't taken any responsibility for my own personal finance. It's a very, very scary thing to decide I want to leave a relationship I'm not even happy in, because I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it on my own.
But Jackie, one point I wanted to make is I find that many people are not comfortable with money, period, or managing it, or they don't want to look at statements. So it's not really just women. I think, do you think some women just cop out and say, well, it's his, let him do it, because many men aren't comfortable with it either.
No, it's quite true. The truth is that's one of the reasons I'm really passionate about financial literacy, because it is overwhelming, especially because it's not something you're taught in schools and then all of a sudden you're expected to become an expert. I deal with a lot of professionals. They are really great at what they do, and they feel vulnerable and they feel exposed when personal finance is something they know very little about, the way interest rates work, how they should be organizing their investments, retirement, all those things are huge. So for a woman who was never encouraged to think about money, was taught, leave everything to the man, have your needs put towards the end. Everybody else is more important than your needs. It might be a lot to uncover, but times have changed. There's lots of opportunities to learn. There's opportunities to get information about finance. Ask someone if you're not at the point where you're comfortable managing your own finance. Ask someone for a really good referral about someone who can help you with that, that they might trust.
So if you are that woman, how do you model a different behavior for your daughter?
Well, that's another thing that I think is really important. And I call this in the book creating a really good money memory, because a lot of relationships fall to the wayside and fail because people have different ideas about money in general. And then for a woman in particular, if their children see that they're not actually taking any responsibility for their own financial future, it models that behavior. People learn, like children learn more by what they see than what you tell them. So if you're a woman who wants to inspire your daughter to be someone who takes care of themselves, I have to tell you, Christine, I came from a single mom who said, you better be able to take care of yourself. Don't depend on a man. I heard that my entire life. It was drilled into my soul, not even just into my brain. And I think that for sure made me the person who I am, who really is concerned about leaving my future, leaving my destiny to somebody else. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. I love my partner. And I'll tell you, the next book I do will be on being a single woman in a relationship and happy. So stay tuned for that, but really still looking out for yourself.
Well, Kate and John have a great arrangement where they each take care of different parts of the money.
That's right.
But they're both aware of all the parts. Let's put it that way.
That's right. And I really encourage, and it's, again, something I talk about in the book, advocating for yourself. Advocating for yourself in the decisions of the household, because often women might not necessarily, some women, but not all women, are participating in financial decisions of the household. And that's a good place to start. To becoming more familiar, because nobody comes here. I mean, I had to go to school and learn about finance. That's how I decided to take control of my financial future. But start off simple. Start off with little baby steps. I want to know, okay, maybe you're doing the grocery shopping or paying, certain bills. That's a good place to start if you're not already doing that. Start taking care of the bills. Find out what the actual, what money is actually being used for.
Yeah, really make sure that there isn't a really big life insurance policy being taken out on you.
Well, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, the other side of that is if you're a stay-at-home mom, is there life insurance on on the breadwinner, the person who's bringing in the income, so that if something happens, you're not in a scenario where you have to completely lose your lifestyle. I see so many posts, even on Facebook, read so many news articles that say, a woman, again, single by chance, her husband passed away, no insurance, 3 kids, she's making nothing in terms of income. How do you continue? How do you go on? How do you create a life for yourself from there? You're pretty much starting from scratch.
And your children. A terrible tragedy happened to family I know. Both of the parents were killed. He was in insurance. He had double jeopardy. So
That's
the
good.
insurance company was cut double.
That's amazing.
Because they both. So the children are living with family, thankfully, but they are completely taken care of.
But that's what I mean. Women don't ask
know.
those really important questions like, I'm at home, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Do we have insurance in place? I mean, I have some clients who call me and say, I don't think my husband has enough insurance. You know what, could you make an appointment so that we can have them both come in so I know that if something happens, I'm taken care of. We have to be a little bit more selfish.
So bottom line, communication, which we advocate for in relationships on every level, should also extend to the money conversation.
Well, this is, again, a major reason why relationships fail. So for sure, we should be having way more money conversations. I find I tend to champion those conversations for my clients because it's a difficult conversation to have. So to have somebody bridge the gap to help talk about money is helpful.
Well, they can always buy the book.
And they can buy the book.
Or they can win the book.
Or they can. We're giving away
That's
3
right.
copies of
That's
Single
right.
by Choice or Chance. So you can find all the details on our Facebook page and, of course, on our website, which is whatshesaidtalk.com. And if you're not lucky enough to win one of the books, there'll be a link there that take you right to Amazon. Thank you so much.
This was a pleasure. I just wish all the women out there and all the men, financial success and prosperity for 2017.
This is What She Said on The Jewel. Stay with us.